Ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Series number 4 of the upper bracket quarterfinal is well underway. We're one game in. Our second draft has begun. We're going to drop you right in there right now between Vega Squadron and Kinguin. A game lead so far after a very dominant performance in game number 1. What are we expecting game 2, Will?
More run at you, and Vega will...
Yeah.
So we thought they'd ban the Razor. But I guess
we said they had to ban one or the other, didn't we?
Yeah.
But we said the first team pick would actually do it, but Vega chose to still ban in the second pick.
Which means that they're not necessarily comfortable running.
Maybe they ban... Okay, so they ban Bounty. So Kinguin has an interesting choice here. They can either take Razor and say that hero's broken, or they can take Earth Spirit.
Or Winter. They really like Winter too.
I think it's more likely though, because when your 4 options are like kind of limited, because after this it's like you have Slardar, Sand King, and Nyx, right? And I think Earth Spirit is the best out of those. Pretty.
I mean, for the position 4 roaming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
So then Vega now has the idea, like it's like, do you take Razor yourself?
AA. Actually, Vega always struck me as a team that plays very greedy carries.
Yeah.
So banning the Omni and picking the A actually makes a lot of sense to secure that safe lane.
It's not bad against Razor too.
Yeah. A is really good against Razor. Good to burst him down.
You can burst, yeah. And Sand King, so you take a 4 hero that he's like one of the few 4 heroes that match, I think, Earth Spirit's like tempo.
I mean, his objective is going to be to just follow the Earth Spirit around and vice versa.
Yeah.
They just want to mirror the movement of each other.
And that's why it's important, Paul, like when you have like 2 4s, you want it to kind of like even out. That's why Night Stalker's like the king, because nobody can keep up with NS. And that's why most teams just ban it.
It's too fast.
Yeah, but most of the time, like, what you want to do is your 4 hero should be able to just follow around their 4 hero, and if you run into each other, you can just, like, duke it out. But the downside of, like, when you play against Night Stalker is when it hits nighttime, no hero can keep up with him as a 4. It's like you're permanently hasted.
And you can't duke it out with him either.
Yeah, because he's so strong. Yeah. He's got a lot of health now. He's got, like, 1900 health with an Urn and the talent.
There's also a reason why people Ogre so much, but I guess it's more a position 5 for them than a 4.
Usually a 5.
Yeah.
Ogre has a lot of downsides though. It's like your laning phase is really good, but you're essentially bounty in the sense that like you bloodlust somebody late game, and you're just like hoping your team wins without you.
Yeah. Throw Ignite or like a Fire Blast. Maybe get like a triple multicast.
It's like you're never even in range to do that.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that it's very different. They're very rigid in drafting terms, like a Complexity or an Liquid, who are very much on the flex pick kind of regime in their draft to give them alternatives as they go through. These guys are pretty much, they're going to pick some hard 5s, some hard 4s.
There's no Jakiro that can play 5 or 2 or 1.
Yeah. There's no Nyx, there's no Park. There's none of those kind of flexible early draft picks from these guys.
From the first 4 heroes, there's actually only Sand King that can go to 2 roles. Yeah. Other than that, they're pretty much locked in with their positions already.
I don't know, man. I've seen some sick AA mids from Na'Vi.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing about Silencer, right? Yeah, Silencer mid. Yeah. Level 15, you get 4 in per kill. Why not?
That means that you have to be ahead, though.
Yeah.
If you're ever behind that, talent's completely worthless.
You're getting attacked by a mosquito, dude.
I know, it's scary.
Yeah, we keep swatting it away. It keeps coming back. I might take the sword to it in a moment.
It's literally only 1, 2, and it's like attacking all of us.
It's the same one.
Yeah.
It's been here for a couple of days. Yeah, I think it's attacked me already this morning.
Man.
This morning?
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty early on, it went for my eye.
Banning Medusa.
Medusa?
Yeah, I mean, Medusa is just super annoying to play against. Whether they really have a strategy with it or not doesn't really matter. The hero is just...
It counters 5-man. And it puts you on a timer. It puts you on a timer too. And I don't think Kinguin ever wants to be...
Timer?
Yeah.
There's the Razor ban.
Because, like, once they actually reach your high ground, they have a lot of decision-making problems, as we said before. And Medusa is one of the heroes that can actually punish it quite severely.
You just make it easy for yourself.
Yeah, you should.
10 seconds
But I think for Vega, the idea should be like, you either have to like split up the map, or you have to be able to tempo fight them. Like, so you need 5 heroes that can also fight them.
But it's very hard to. Do you really want to fight Kinguin in their like own game? Because that's very hard to do.
I think it's a bit easier this game because their heroes are pretty fast. But I think Silencer was a pretty good pick. It's like a very base counter to Sand King and AA. It's like as soon as a team fight starts, if Sand King stuns in, you silence, and the AA you can't control it anymore, right?
The AA you can't stop the blast. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
It
it'll
flies
do nothing.
over. Yeah. And then of course Sand King can't sandstorm, can't ult.
Yeah. Oh.
Axe.
So this is a combo that Wings used to run back in the day. The idea being, of course, like whatever you blink call is 100% dead.
Yeah. If you get an A ult on an X call, he's dead.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't really matter what it is.
If you go all the way back to Summit, it was Liquid versus Wings. Kuro had like a 9-minute blink dagger on 5-position line that game, and it was like, okay, well, guess Liquid's gonna win. And then 2 or 3 X call with AA ults later, the game was just like over. It's like, why are we playing in this game?
To just pick it like that without any core shown.
Yeah, they must have an idea behind it.
But they don't want to show their carry or mid.
Yeah,
for sure. That's why they picked their offlaner right there. And I mean, Axe is not really a bad hero anyways, because he still is an anti-carry, and every team will have a carry hero for sure.
Yes, it prevents like a lot of these melee carries that just like blow themselves up to him.
Yeah. Even most mid heroes do that, like SF, like even Razor, TA, they all just kill themselves.
Yeah, it's nice against a lot of the hero pool of Kinguin. But
Doombringer, it's actually one of the best responses to an Axe. But like, I mean, Axe. Oh no, sorry, Doom and Earth Spirit together in the offlane can create a lot of pressure on the safe lane of Vega. And we said they're prone to pick very greedy cores for the safe lane, and Doom Earth Spirit can really pressure that, I think, and really punish it as well.
I think for Vega, you probably want to just play the safe lane game.
Yeah, you want triple lane safe lane for sure.
Yeah, so that means if Kinguin knows that, then they can just like send the Earth Spirit around. I think this Earth Spirit will create a lot of space this game.
Just sacrifice the Doom a bit, and then if they ever move away from the safe lane, then Earth Spirit can come there, Doom can recover. But I agree, they should definitely try and safe lane here. Unless they want to go aggro with like a Wraith King or something. But Wraith King is really good against Doom if they want to go that path.
A lot of people pick Lifestealer.
Lifestealer is really good too.
Lifestealer's nice.
I want to see some Arc Warden, man, but nobody's going to pick it.
Who are the other heroes? Like Lifestealer, Viper, Razor. These are all heroes that don't really care. I think for Vega,
Lone
you take like,
also.
Yeah. Oh, they take Sven.
Sven is actually one of the heroes that can get pressured a lot by that dual lane.
Yeah.
If they support if a leave.
Sven doesn't super care about
lane.
About the lane, and he doesn't care about getting doomed either. Because normally when you like play Sven, you jump in, you use your entire toolkit.
Yeah. If you get doomed afterwards, you're like, okay,
whatever.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
They have a lot of jump though. I like this lineup a lot more from Vega. It's not like nearly as one-sided.
Yeah, they can initiate a lot themselves.
Yeah.
Carry Vengeful then. So that means they need like a very strong carry from mid lane. Probably SF, TA, those two come to mind. But again, Axe is really good against both of them.
Yeah, I was thinking something like DP. But
DP can also work.
It's really... The AA pick is nice because it denies...
The DP somewhat. Like, not completely, but of course it's quite strong against it. The Dragon Knight ban is actually really good too. One of the heroes that actually doesn't care so much about Axe. Really good against Sven.
Yeah, tons of armor.
Tons of armor, and he can build it to Heaven Celebrate without really losing damage. Kinguin is definitely lacking. Well, they have team fight, they have tower push. They do have a bit of catch, not massive amount, but I guess Venge and Earth are quite good for that.
Yeah. Their damage is a little bit.
They DP themselves actually.
Oh, Viper. They're gone for the Viper.
So the hero that we were talking about as the counter to Doom, they take themselves. I guess it's a hero that doesn't really care, and it's a lot of magic damage.
Oh. Do you know what I was just about to say? And didn't get it out.
Brute Mother.
Yeah.
It's gonna be rough, man. All their heroes are so bad against Brute.
They have no wave clear.
Yeah.
Their lineup is...
This Brute middle is gonna destroy this game.
Yep.
Like, if he doesn't mess up on Brood, he's gonna single-handedly carry this game.
Yeah, because there's literally no wave clear, Paul. So for Vega's lineup, they can just like shove in waves repeatedly, and Kinguin, they don't have enough catch, I think. I think this is kind of a rough game for Kinguin.
I really think the only way they win this game is if they can kill a Brood like 3 or 4 times repeatedly before she gets out of control, which is almost impossible. And they have a Sven backup as well. I really like the Vega draft this game.
Yeah.
They're probably going to win.
Very smart draft. And
Yeah.
they hid that well, didn't they, all the way through?
Yes.
Yeah. I actually didn't think about the Brood last week at all. Even though Viper always gets hard countered by Brood, that was always back in the back of my mind. I don't know. I haven't seen it this tournament at all. Especially the new Brood.
I think we've had one.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Had
I think we
Brood
have one
Mother.
ban, and I think that's all. I don't think we've had a pick
Yeah.
out of the game. Very quickly, gents, you go against the Brood here.
Prepare for battle.
I'm going with Vega for this game.
Vega.
The Brood has persuaded the experts to go against their team that have won the opening game. It is 1-0 right now to Kingwin. Can they find a way beating down the Brood Mother? Let's find out as we head back to Toby, One and Malini for game number 2.
That 5th pick, Brood. Maybe it locks into game 3 for us, Malini, but right now...
I highly disagree with the panel
Really?
But the new Viper is actually better than the new Brood. Before Brood countered Viper, but now Viper has an AoE spell. And you can't forget about the Nether Toxin. I think that was completely overlooked in the analysis because that spell is actually amazing.
Do you think it's enough, though, to deal with the push? Like,
Yeah, that spell is
That's
spell
what
is
you need?
amazing. Yeah, it's really good, and a lot of Vipers actually build Radiance nowadays with the spell amp. Oh,
Okay.
sorry, spell lifesteal. Yeah, so you just go super tanky with corrosive, and you just drop your Nether Toxin, and also the talent later where it silences is incredibly good on the Viper.
well, I'm interested to see if you get to be right or if the panel gets to be right.
The
But for now,
battle begins.
Vega trying to be aggressive. God, it looks like at the moment he's just trying to steal both of the bounty runes while the rest of Vega run aggressively through the Radiant jungle. And it looks like they are there to try and shut down Nisha. Kako's already doing the body block for him, so the creep wave-wise, it's going to be in favor of Kingwin. Aggressive Observe Ward down from Vega, so this will be their attempt at first blood. So before we split into 3 different lanes, Kako actually getting aggressive on God. It'll open up the opportunity for Slayer to run forward, but I guess she just runs straight past everything, chases the Earth Spirit.
And the AA is not there because he's looking for a chicken snipe.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I thought for a moment they could punish the ES, but okay, thought is gone, and we go into our standard laning phase.
Yep, and AA has a TP out, so he wastes a little bit of time. They don't get any kill on the lane, and
Afterlife is currently creep skipping down the bottom. So you might see Exotic Deer on the very far right of your screen at the moment, just farming the lane. But it's because Afterlife is having a small little duel with the Silencer, who went for Curse to begin with, trying to play around the tree line, burn the salve, and Silencer seems to be very happy to tank this damage as long as he can have somebody else rotate down to help him. And ES is on the way. Afterlife has a TP scroll available. He's hoping to spin into the Silencer, starts his TP now. The damage, it will not be enough to kill him before he completes his TP. But Kako can play with Slayer, so both of the supports being played around with that offlaner, but Afterlife gets level 2 out of that. Maybe not so bad. And 4 CS. Top lane, Partos. Easy when you've got that Scorched Earth to survive the attack.
Infernal Blade's so good versus Sven. It hurts him so much, and it's a lot of... The thing about the Sven pick that didn't make sense to me is like they picked it into no physical damage. The Venge actually came after the pick. A little bit, not quite far enough on that roll.
You're trying to say hello. You still don't have a point up in Nether Toxin on Nisha. So until that, like, do you even go for this? And how do you build for this? Like, do you just max out Nether Toxin? Are you surprised he actually got 1 point in poison attack?
I mean, he can't spawn enough Broodlings at the moment. I think he wanted more kill potential on the Broodmother. But level 1 in Corrosive is too much value to pass up, generally.
I suppose you also don't really have a mana pool for it. Rolling Boulder forward. Sentry is down for the Dire side as well as Obs. Nothing really, like, they knew exactly what they were up against. There was no one hidden there. Makako still tries to force him out of the lane. Axe is back on this bottom lane in what has to be a lane from hell. Like, he wants to run close, but then he's going to get cursed up. He could potentially get magic missile, and you've got the Vengeful Aura damage. So more and more chip damage will come the way of that Axe.
It's going to be tough for him all game. I think the Venge is really good versus the Axe in general. Like, you can swap the Blink Call target in, you can swap the Axe in after he Blink Calls, and he's just terribly out of position without Berserker's Call up.
Oh,
So
top. right now, Slayer. He was the one trying to be aggressive onto Partos, but the Scorched Earth AoE will be able to reach him.
And the Infernal Blade damage.
Such smart move from Kako too. Jumps quickly up to the top lane, rolling boulders down from where the tier 1 tower is and just catches them in the top river. Now this mid lane is going to start to get interesting. We'll see just how the matchup between Nisha and God will play out.
Yeah, it's not going to be great for him. Like, you can't actually kill them, but you can actually prevent him from diving you, which I think was one of the big downsides of the matchup. But let's see, he could actually die soon, but he's very far away from the web at least.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Just love watching this harassment on the axe. But Nisha has a
he's gonna
lot
die.
of Spiderlings coming his way. Where is the escape? He doesn't go into the pit. No supporters nearby. The Spiderlings, they will not continue the chase. Shrine's a little bit further down. It's off cooldown in a minute. Fire Strike down the bottom lane. Uplife gets the call. And the swing will be enough to bring down the Silencer. So no +2 or no -2, but Exotic Deer will still be there to pick up the pieces.
That aura buff. Too bad he doesn't get the plus intel though from that. I do like that new aura from Vengeful. It makes her, I don't know, it's good lore, you know?
Do you want to explain it for everybody out there? Like,
Oh yeah, if an ally is in range of your aura and it dies, the killer will have a haunted spirit, pretty much a illusion of that hero, untargetable illusion that will fight for 6 seconds and do 100% damage. It's actually a pretty significant
very
buff.
lore effective.
Yeah, he's
Middle
Vengeful.
lane's being pressured once again. Kingwood just had to burn their fortification for this. Fire Strike down bottom, Slayer. A nice double curse, and even Ancient Apparition being down. This Vega lane has turned into an aggro tri-lane, but Slayer with no Barra Strike coming off cooldown now. They're checking the trees, but this movement from Kingwood does not find the mark. Now it will, Slayer. A quick last word. And the curse into the tree. Sand King, he's in the tree line, wants to get out of here. Doesn't have mana to actually use his TP, but he's trapped in the trees with no real mana regen.
They have
know
Dingos.
where he is. He'll come free now. And there's a +2, the first of the game for the Silencer, and it goes against the SK.
So now Nisha actually finally starts leveling up the Nether Toxin. 30 damage a second for 8 seconds is not going to be enough to kill those Broodlings
They are
yet.
coming to kill him.
Yeah, he looks dead.
So many Broodlings coming his way. He'll break to start with. Nether Toxin is down. These Spiderlings are dying pretty quickly. And in comes Pantos. Does he have enough life? He actually brought in the Centaur Warstop to clean up the rest of the Broodlings and force the Vega aggro off that tower.
The cooldown is so low. The cooldown is ridiculous.
He's dead too. Another +2 on that off lane. Slayer's going to attempt to try and contest with a 6-minute room. Fire Strike and Cold Feet catching out the Silencer. Karkle, not much he can really do to defend this. Their Observer Ward was in the lanes. They didn't see the rotation of the Vega supports to the bot.
Their Observer Wards are so aggressive. They just had one that expired right above the rune, and they have one in lane on bottom and one in lane and mid. However, the Brood's not actually able to get off to that fantastic start that you normally see Broods get. Hasn't really been able to move into the Ancients yet, and he's actually going for a very different build. I see the Broodmother queue up the Orchid first. Wow.
All right.
We've seen so many Mask of Madness, Dezos, Dezo rushes, so the Silent, well, the sustain is nice because Soul Ring did get a little bit nerfed. You don't have as much mana regeneration, but it's just a little bit strange because it doesn't help you farm neutrals as fast as before. Maybe he's just trying to stop the Viper from casting Nether Toxin.
Couldn't stop the Viper from denying that mid tower. Has something like 20 Broodlings sitting next to the tower as well as himself, and still Nisha wins out.
I would say Nisha knows his limits with this hero though, because I think like if you haven't played Viper since the patch, you wouldn't farm where you are right now. So clearly he has some experience versus the new Brood and with the new Viper, which is, you know, always something a little bit of a question mark when it's been relatively soon after a patch with heroes that aren't super popular. Actually, Viper's pretty popular. Brood, not so much.
Well, he's at least keeping the net worth close. So as you said, like, he understands his limits, and he's only 500 net worth, the difference in the mid lane. Sven is definitely far ahead, but that's because he's now moving through the jungle, building into that Mask of Madness after farming up the stacks. Partos Are they actually going to have a crack at this? Karkor's in the tree, so with the initiation, you get a follow-up kick. The Stormbolt will be on the Doom. Scorcher is out. He's got Warstop available too, and he'll catch out at least one. The Sand doomed up. They're trying to get the denial. Will be able to happen.
Where's your webs?
Hard dance waits the timeout. Face boost from Partos. He needs a little bit of mana to TP out. The 3-1 charges will give him that, but now the TP forward to the shrine to close the distance. But now 1 charges and face boost. That movement speed once again. Can he TP out to safety? He's trying to juke it around the tree lines. The wall stomp. Now face boost back off cooldown again. God moves in to finally put him down with the spawn spiderlings. But you've dragged your mid off the lane. Then we can just move ourselves to Afterlife down the bottom, battling against Karkor. Silencer will move in as well, and they're going to try and force him out with the movement in from Exotic Deer. No, he doesn't get there in time. Slayer, he'll get his stun off, so they turn their attention over to Slayer, but really, there's not much more Silencer can give. He's gone to 2-0-2, so no harassment against the SK.
Not enough mana on this Venge to progress with the swamp.
Oh, and they really would have wanted that now. Rolling boulder forward, the kick flies forward. Connects into Afterlife, but on to Slayer.
10 stick charges on the axe, so pretty difficult for them to kill. They're pushing, potential's okay. They do have the Aquila up on the Vengeful Spirit, but it's very important to try and limit Brood's ability. But Brood, on the meantime, is split pushing top.
Yep.
No blight, though.
He's bouncing around between all of the lanes. And maybe that's the power now of Kingwin. Like, they're going to be the first, well, not the first ones. They're looking to at least keep up with the tower trade-off the Broodmother will go for. So tier 1 for tier 1. No one comes down to try and fight this. The Sand King silenced up, as well as being hit by that corrosive, that nether toxin.
Arcane Rune value.
The tier 1 value too. They get all the money for it.
I'm still unsure about how well this Orchid is going to work out. I haven't seen an Orchid first Brood in such a long time. And normally you'll see it versus like Ember and Storm Spirit. These heroes get heavily punished by it, but I don't know if I'm sold on it this game. Even the casual Blightstone would have been nice for him. But the thing about the Orchid is, like, if he goes on a target, they can just swap out, and or swap him in, he will just die. You'll gladly trade it alive, and you have the silence too.
God's being such a dick. These Spiderlings aren't even dying to Partos. He's got nothing to deal with them. He tried to War Stomp. At least God gets himself trapped or stays up on top of a hillside. Rolling boulder forward. Clean him off that way and try and protect the tier 1 tower. Looking for the second denial if it's going to be possible. But God's basically set up residence, so it will in fact be the second tower deny. Now the 2 tier 1s that Vega have claimed.
Whew. Nice phase boost build. Also a little uncommon on Venge, but pretty nice if you're trying to run away from this Brood who has mobility issues, considering she has no boots and not enough webs.
Do you actually like the Mask of Mana seeing the Orchid coming out for God? Like, is it better to build something more like Amanda style for the VS?
Well, the
VS, the target,
VS doesn't care that much if she gets silenced. Like, her right click is still incredibly good.
Back the kick from Karkor. That's going to be off the mark. So they can just run away, and in fact now it's going to be the Viper. Locked in, the Ice Blast will connect, and Nisha will explode into a bunch of Spiderlings, John Hurt style.
They have no way to catch this Brood, though. That's the biggest problem. They might be able to stop the Brood from tower diving, but their ability to traverse terrain and deal with her across the webs is severely limited. You have to swap into any sort of stun. So Venge stun is a little hard to hit because you're the one swapping. So they tried maybe swapping a Hoof Stomp even would be decent. If they still have it on the Doom. Yeah, they do.
Yep. For now they do.
Or Stomp, rather.
Slayer's waiting in the tree lines. He has Epicenter available.
They're going for mass Shadow Blades, actually. One on.
Oh, he's actually prepping it. Ice Blast is coming in. He can potentially kill him. He did no! Oh, he didn't have the mana to Burrow Strike after he EP'd.
The shame TP.
But
the shame.
He had to have done the math, right? Oh. Oops. Well, tier 1 tower will belong to Kingwin. There will be no Epicenter for a bit. There was a level 1. He didn't have a Blink Dagger. It's just that level 3 Burrow Strike as well. Like, he needed to have 280 mana and he was short. But that's fine. Brood's getting more space to farm up. This Ven is beyond any level of farm. Oh, really? Really? If we're going to add insult to injury to Slayer, we're going to watch this again.
Oh, he did have enough mana.
He did?
Yeah. He just didn't have the right.
All right,
He didn't have the right angle, and then they started backing off.
So he just let it go and didn't engage.
He doesn't have a TP. He could be in a little bit of danger.
Wave of Terror just missing Slayer's positioning.
They sense that something is fishy though.
The Axe is looking for his jump. He's got Blink Dagger available on 3 points up in Berserk's call.
Uh-oh, Sven might crux him. Sven does not have a Blink Dagger though.
They managed to pick up on the Viper, pull him out with the swap. The King is beautiful from Karkov. 2 on the back lines. However, that Ice Blast will connect onto Panto, so all that regeneration of his, it will count for nothing as he shatters in the back lines. Doom was also burnt on this Ven. So Vega and Kingwin trading heavy amounts of abilities. Meanwhile, God not there. He was pushing the mid-tier 2 tower, bringing it very, very low. But still outside of deny range.
Brood problems. Yeah, it's just still really difficult to catch this Brood.
That's when you need the Doombringer to have his initiation. Shadowblade is his build item, and it looks like you're actually getting both of them. Exotic Deer also went for Shadowblade as his primary item, bypassed the Mask of Madness. Or at least delayed the Mask of Madness in order to get that. Now, so Orchid forward, going onto the Silencer, and that's a pretty easy kill.
Easy.
Orchid works out. Yay.
He did not need Orchid to get the kill.
Just makes life easier. Now Exotic Deer with the Shadow Blade runs in closer, gonna look for the stun. Rolling Boulder coming forward as well. On the Spiderlings in the middle of this, they turn on the Magnetize. So at least they clean up the Spiderlings, and God, the Magnetize is killing him off. I think he's trying to deny himself to a neutral. Won't happen. No, he'll have the insatiable hunger to give him the life back.
They need the swaps on this Brood Mother. They have not been able to get a good swap initiation on him. That was supposed to be a kill for them. That was great initiation. There were 4 heroes there. At least they will get the tower for that.
And they're looking for this man. The Observer Ward's watching him move. Courier's moving up as well, so now into the tree line, gets the reveal. They're holding onto the swap. Now they pull it back up to the high ground. Nice kick, cancels off that Storm Bolt, as well as the Silence Beam. He can't just return it until now. But he misses the timing. Ice Blast, it triggers the back of the Earth Spirit with a Fire Strike. They'll put him down. This Ven is a huge kill to take. Exotic Deer getting 423 gold for that one. The top net worth hero falling for Vega.
This aggressive tactic from Kingwin though, going for the double Shadow Blade so they can pick off these supports. So yeah,
this is God again, down to 12 HP, 2 HP he dropped down to.
So close.
Not close enough. The creep wave is doing the job on bottom lane. No one from Kingwin's coming to defend it. They have no fortification and no one in the neighborhood, so not going to let it go. But mid lane Silencer on the run. The Orchid Pop should be enough, not to mention the army of Spiderlings that continuously moves forward. God, Exotic Deer, Wave of Terror will give them the vision, swap them back. So they're almost using Silencer as bait, but here comes your Ice Blast. He'll catch 3 heroes. The Sand King can't really do a hell of a lot. He'll end up going down. Exotic Deer is not low enough to shatter. Even with that one little Spiderling, or at least it looks like one, it's probably more than one. Try and nibble him down a bit further.
Poor Silencer. There again.
Blink call onto 2 with the creep wave there. Culling Blade will execute the Silencer. And Axe most definitely is like Sean Bean right now. He's dying every single time he appears. Maybe trouble as well for the Earth Spirit. Kicks back, rolling Boulder. No, doesn't get far enough. And a blink into a second Culling Blade. Vega Squadron 16 minutes in.
They've lost everything. They've lost so many other towers and the pick-off potential from Axe too. So they're having these 2 heroes just power farm, the Brood Mother and the Sven, and the Axe is attempting to pick off any maneuver that they do, and they still have not been able to kill the Brood. Firstly, he just got away because they didn't have enough. I just don't think they were in position to swap maybe at the Ancients, and then he didn't have enough mana that time to really follow up on the Brood, and Sand King was there to save him too. So they're doing a really good job of playing around the Brood, making sure that they're very efficient in their farming and that he does not take a spill. Not the idea this game.
Is this still going to work out though, going more deeper into the mid game? Like you're getting a lot of farm onto the 2 big cores of Vega. What are the hurdles they face against Kingwin's lineup?
Pushing high ground.
That's it?
Mostly, yeah. I mean, they have no problems taking down objectives. They have no problems retaining map control with this Axe. It's more so, I would say, pushing high ground and making sure that they don't actually farm that much of the map. It's a big problem to control this much area when you have 2 Shadow Blades on the side of Kinguin. I mean, they will get some small picks here and there and some Broodlings, but they need more Sven kills, and they definitely need a Brood kill.
Well, if they can get either of those, it'd be great. For now, they just have to dodge the initiation that's coming from Vega. It's a 3-man smoke up, but it's the big one. It's a Blink and Force Staff on an Axe. So a lot of range for his initiation, plus the SK having his own Blink Dagger. And Ancient Apparition knows just how great his supports, like the position of the supports are in the core are in. Because he goes a Hand of Midas after Brown Boots.
They do have the global silence though.
SK preps the epicenter. They're about to jump in looking for exotic gear. Can Kako actually help back? Global silence is there, so they can't move closer. Axe is waiting for the blink call timing. As ES rolls up, he realizes that Slayer is most definitely not alone. He's in the tree line, silenced by Last Word, but he's not ticking down. At 48 HP, he'll survive. And now it's the Earth Spirit who's in too deep. The blink bar is strike and the call, pulling him up and then cutting him down.
Getting destroyed. They were really close to killing that guy. The silence actually stopped the AA ulti from like blasting onto them, which was quite nice. But I'm sure that the silencer expected an Axe follow up there, but there was not. So he actually didn't go for the spell lifesteal. I think that's the more common build that I see on Viper, like a spell lifesteal tanky build, but maybe he doesn't think the lifesteal very much value versus the AA. So opts for a more right-click oriented AoE build.
With the attack speed. But he's going to go down so quickly. Like, as the panel was saying, like, you get a call off and the AA blast hits you, that you're going to die anyway. But now you've got 4 blink daggers on Vega's squadron.
You have the swap.
Everybody but the AA has one.
You have the swap as counterplay though. You have swap and silencer roll. They're not great, but...
And it kind of puts Exotic Deer into harm's way to do it. And he's your #1 position, remember?
Yeah, he's...
Like if it was a 4-position VS, I could field a lot more saying, yeah, it's great. Like he'll sacrifice himself for the greater good.
This is very dangerous for them. They could easily lose one fight here and just be on the back foot for the rest of the game. I still think it's like this game's kind of still within grasp as long as they don't get like 3-0, 4-0.
What a time to Ice Blast it. There's no Observer Ward there, but everyone's missing on the map. So question marks start to appear. Vega removing
They might get obliterated here. They cannot take this fight. Yeah. Not when all of them are this low.
Exotic Gear just steals the regeneration rune. Moves back into relative safety, but that's a lot of Spiderlings to now try and take up Roshan. God Strength burned by Sven. This timing needs to be perfect. Wait for Terror, lets him reveal into the pit. The Doom is down, and the kickback is on the Sven. He doesn't have enough to fight this one, ticking down with the Magnetize and the Global Silence. Vega can't help him, attempted denial, but it won't work from the Ancient Apparition. 2 heroes down from Vega, and it's a 2v for them, but Ice Blast is back with the epicenter of Burrow Strike. Hold him, and kill him. 3 down in favor of God. Triple kill for him. He's looking for the 4th. Nisha will force off himself up, but the Orc is back once more. A buyback into the game from the Doombringer. He's trying to get into this fight. Nisha hiding in the trees. Got the Sentry Ward, so we can see the SK killing him off. He'll be able to do so. Now the Doom with the score shot. It's actually just Nisha by the pure corrosive skin, killing off the Ancient Apparition after death, and it's up to Silencer and Doombringer to make this buyback worth it, to try and take Roshan, but God is still nearby. He'll send in his Spiderlings. He'll scan out inside the pit. It's only Dire Sentry Wards on top of the pits. They do not see the Spiderlings to work against him, but support's coming back. Karkor, rolling boulder. Okay, that didn't even get inside the pit, but they're trying to battle this one up. Sven, he's alive. The TPs are beginning. They're coming back over towards the shrine. Axe moving forward. 4 staff down. Blink and call. He'll catch up the Earth Spirit. Doombringer. He wants to help out. Not much he can really do. When again the Culling Blade will connect with the buff up. They'll kill off Roshan, and Vega will claim the Aegis the Immortal into the hands of the Broodmother.
Man, Gia is playing very, very well. Just, you know, patiently biding his time, not really feeling that pressured, and just blinking in and assassinating heroes, keeping his HP up high, scouting with the Broodlings.
That fight just seemed to be impossible. Like they just, like, Kinguin didn't see it.
Well, they did get the Doom off. That was actually huge for them, that the Doom was on the side. Oops. He was like on the north side of the pit, and as soon as they got vision, he actually immediately doomed the Sven. That was actually like fight winning right here. Again. I don't even know how he got into this position. That's crazy that he was able to pull that off right there.
Wraps around the top and had to be max range.
Yeah, for the, that was like a max range for Doom for sure.
But at least then you see the power that can come out from the Viper. When you get that Doom off, you basically eliminate this Ven.
Yep.
But there's so many cores that do so much work. That you got Axon's Ven down, and then God just went to town. He's got a BKB for the next fight. Slayer can't TP out in time. Exotic Deer will find that kill.
The Doom's not tanky enough. That's a big problem for them. He's already kind of soft countered by the Ice Blast, and then he needs a lot of armor to deal with his heavy physical from the Sven and the Broodmother.
Oh, Nisha, they're going in on bottom lane. He's got the invis through, so jumps forward with the Viper Strike. Sven, no way to escape from this one. They turn everything on to ensure the death of him. Ice Blast is coming in, but Sven, what can you do here? Not a hell of a lot. It is a level 2 Ice Blast to work with, but Carcore won't shatter. The Doom out in the Axe. Meanwhile, Ancient Apparition picked off by Exotic Deer as well, so they've...
The chain feed.
Yeah, SK dies up on top, Ancient Apparition dies on top of the Bounty Rune, and Sven dies down in the bottom lane. So with this, 3 nice hero pickoffs. We don't get all of it in the teamfight recap, but the swing for Kingwin will be beautiful.
That's still a pretty good, like, overall past couple of minutes for Kingwin, surprisingly. I did not think they were going to be able to contest Roche at all versus this lineup. Like, Brood is actually just exceptionally good at fighting around the pit because of the amount of cliffs that are there.
Radiant are scanning.
But they're making very good use of the Shadow Blades. Sometimes you get Shadow Blades and then the other team just completely avoids them or sets up traps with sentries, and then you just waste your gold and you don't have a good farming tool. But this game, Kingwin are, you know, dodging smoke ganks and getting very key pickoffs.
Speaking of smoke gangs, they're coming really close. Carcore, there's your Blink Fire Strike. Global Silence is out. Niche is in the neighborhood. They want to get a slow and control. They're going to get one over on the SK. Rolling Boulder forward. He's already out of the Sandstorm. Getting some distance, and the distance will be enough. Vega considering a turnaround. Wave Terror stopping the Axe from being able to blink himself forward. And a smart disengage from Kingwin, but they're not out of the woods just yet. The Blink Hole. It got Silencer and the Viper. 10 more charges to Babel. He can trigger them now. A swap out, pulling the Broodmother away to safety. But it puts Nisha smack bang in the middle of it with Exotic Deer. Both cores will fall.
I don't
Vega
think
will
that's...
push down the mid.
I don't think that's who we meant to swap.
It really wasn't. He meant to take out the core, right? Not God.
Oh, this game could be over with this push. Buyback on Viper, I think, has to be expanded because it's the only way that they can deal with these creeps.
Well, already Silencer got evaporated. You go Dark Troll, summon a Doom Trap to throw out onto the Sven. They force Staff him forward. The call is out once again from Axe. The spins are good, but not enough. They'll lose the Axe. God's fighting underneath the tower as well. The BKB will protect him. Slayer never really doing any kind of damage with that epicenter. So buyback, well, it was expended from the Viper.
At least they hold. That could have been way worse for them.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But they all clumped up. 3 people inside the Nether Toxin and the Earth Spirit spells.
Even with the buyback, like, it's only a 600 gold swing in favor of Vega. Like, when your core buys back at this point of the game, like with that many levels, you'd expect it to be very expensive. But
yeah, I thought it was actually going to be way worse.
Yep. But Vega still hold their 10k gold advantage. You mentioned it was going to be a hard thing pushing up high ground, and let's see it happen once more. So Sven initiates him. Silencer deleted straight away. But Sven in very, very deep.
Yeah, they're all clumped up trying to follow up after this Axe initiation. They just get hit by that Boulder Smash.
The Boulder Smash connects, and they're fighting underneath that level 4 Nether Toxin too.
And a great spread of the Magnetize by Kakor there. He spread the Magnetize onto the Sand King so that Epicenter couldn't have followed up. I don't think he would have blinked it anyways. I think he would have just died going on the Viper, but still a nice touch.
I'm actually wondering too, like, if it's like Nether Toxin obviously gives the magical reduction. When you combine that with everything else that Kingwin can throw out.
Yep.
Like that's
a significant amount
because
of
they're trying to
damage.
work out exactly how much why that damage was just so high when the ES went in, and
Yeah.
a small amplification seemed to really help with Kingwin's lineup.
Sven is actually going for a Lincoln Sphere because he doesn't want to get doomed.
Okay.
However, he won't have BKB though. I think not having BKB is... I mean, the question is, do you want to get hit by everything else or do you want to get hit by Doom in this game? They can still Viper Strike him too, and maybe even potentially swap to break the Lincolns. That's not a great one. Probably last word would be the ideal one.
We have a nullifier being built on the Broodmother, so we get to watch another one of the new items in the latest patch.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Coming
Very
into a
good
hand, so
versus the Viper.
no Radiance though.
Yeah.
From either side, in fact.
Almost BKB up on Viper.
Radiant's bottom
But
tower
if he gets nullified... Wait, what's the active called?
Hmm?
What's the active called on nullifier?
Nulled?
Nulled?
It should be nulled, right?
Active nullify. Yeah, I'm just making sure. I mean, sometimes it's not. Like Hurricane Pike active is called Hurricane Thrust, but no one calls it Hurricane Thrust. I mean, look at the item. That's what it says in the tooltip. It says Hurricane Thrust.
But you can't be thrusted away. Thrust is a jaunt forward.
I'm just telling you what the game is telling me.
Unless you're thrusting a hurricane.
Bloodzone is called Pocket Deny. Silver Edge is called Shadow Walk. Divine Rapier's passive is Everlasting. You know, no one ever calls it these, but they're cool.
It's all those second names we just always forget. Remember when Dota 2, like Dota used to have the two names for the heroes? So you had, like your standard one. What was it? You had Death Prophet / Crobulus.
Yep.
I miss those days. I think they still exist though for some of the
Some of the heroes, yeah.
No, but they're not as obvious in the game. They made it simple. One name. Make it easy.
My lore, though.
My lore? My lord.
Oh.
Kingwin getting control of their lanes back bit by bit, while Vega are happy just to keep the farm game going. They farm very similar to each other at the moment. That 10k lead hasn't really changed in the last couple of minutes. As we start to flatline a little bit on the graphs. And this is Vega not controlling the Radiant jungle too much. They do have an Observer Ward inside it, so they at least can keep eyes on it.
Yeah, they're just waiting for this Blink BKB Orchid Nullifier combo that's going to come out from Broodmother. The only way to stop that is like a swap or a kickback or something like that. That's pretty much the only way. Blade I could also potentially see working out, but mostly just a swap. But if it goes on the exotic gear, oh, I guess Force Apps could also work too. But it's really only Viper who has the Force App, and I believe he's the one that's going to get jumped on most of the time.
Yeah, that's why he's trying to build double defensive. Manta Style is next in the item build. He's already got the BKB done. He's got some counter push through the Maelstrom, and right now it's a trade-off game. They're trying to force TPs back on Kingwin, who are pushing in the bottom lane. Ancient Apparition will TP back to give it a little bit more of a nudge. Or a thrust.
Hurricane Thrust. Please incorporate that into your cast.
I will attempt. Let's get this or who was it? Who was it that sang that? Here I am, rock you like a hurricane. Who sang that song? We like thrust you like a hurricane now.
Is that a thing?
It's I don't know. It's the only way that kind of makes sense for me.
Oh yeah, my boy, building Spirit Vessel. Spirit Vessel versus the Insatiable Hunger could be real good here. And the plus 20 health regeneration on AA, nice counter.
Let's see if he gets it in time. Like he's looking at it. He's got some decent money for it, but Vega, aside their pressure in through the bottom, God's Strength can be burned up by his Sven. Fortification is the answer from Kingwin, as well as a little bit of a curse on Sven. Now they got the double catapults, which currently will be killed off by the tower. Vega don't find the opportunity they want. They were smoked up.
They have to kill this Viper to push high ground. Viper still does not have buyback for 1.5 minutes. That would have been the perfect opportunity, but also King would know that.
Yep. I think Vega also understand too, once they burn that God Strength, like if they're not doing it for initiation, there is nothing more to come from it. Like Axe is the one who just jumps in. He's looking for his own Blade Meld with a Solar Crest. Very difficult to kill hero without killing yourself. But he needs to be that jump in that Sven can follow up with. But Kingwin, they can look for their own initiation. 5-man smoke up after giving a nudge to the mid lane. And they're coming over. Ancient Apparitions in the tree line. The smoke's gonna break. And AA, oh, he starts his TP. He's in the trees, they didn't see him. Oh, balls.
Oh, bollocks. Great positioning, though. I love those support plays. When you pop a smoke from an undetectable position or a very difficult to detect position, and then you just casually TP out.
The stupid thing is, he didn't even know. He didn't have an observer board on the other side of the hill. There was no one watching close enough. There's no vision whatsoever for Vega there. He just does it casually, awesomely.
He had the ice vortex.
He had the vortex? That actually gave him the vision around the corner?
I mean, they were all in the vortex. Yes.
All right. Yeah, okay, fine. My eyes, then. Roshan dropping quickly. Here, that swap, pulling him back. Ancient Apparition will dive it. In comes the epicenter. So quick up. They've killed up Roshan already. Kingwin lose 2, and they're moving over. Nisha called up control for the moment. The Doom is over on him, but really, it's all too late.
That was a.
The Sven won't even give a crap.
That was a clutch AA ulti. I did not think he was going to get it off before he died, but they actually did not have enough damage to lock him down before then. And Viper does that buyback. Looks like he's going to have to buy it back again.
Yeah, this is now the second one that he's had to burn the money. How far do you want to push this, Vega? You still got a creep wave with you. They can beat into the town without the VS, without the ES. It does look like a half-decent fight, but they don't have their initiation of the SK or the Ancient Apparition. But it seems Vega will be happy enough to take the tier 3 tower and open up those shrines. Which is instantly what they move to kill.
Yeah, which is what I think one more fight Kingwin's just done. They have the Aegis on Broodmother too, so she can just Rambo in. She's so farm right.
Yeah. When you pick up the butterfly, do you still drop it for your face boots? Like just cause like the nerf that came to the movement speed?
Yeah, I just still think you do it. You're Broodmother. You don't really need boots.
When that butterfly is up, we'll watch it happen and see if Kingwin really any kind of answer. I feel so sorry for this silencer.
Yeah, poor guy. He's just not well equipped. He's just one of the worst supports versus Broodmother.
1.6k net worth in a 34-minute game. You have
GPM, baby!
Trankles, TP, and a Sentry Ward. That is all. Just rub salt in the wounds. We highlight God and how much money he's got right now. They're coming again, Vega. Pushing in the bottom. Artos is waiting with his own Shadow Blade to be the defense man. Not enough pressure being applied to the top lane that will force Vega to really go back.
If they can manage to doom the Brood before she pops BKB, maybe they have a chance of that fight. But really, that's the only opportunity I see them winning the fight. Unless, you know, it's some like botched overextension by the Axe. But don't think he's really going to make that play. So really...
He jumps in behind the racks to get swapped into the tier 4 towers.
Something like that. Or
that would be deep enough.
Or he like blinks, you know, he blink calls in and then swaps happen and everyone like gets pulled into T4. I could potentially see that. But, you know, you always want to look for plays that you can do offensively to get the jump on in the fight. And that would be dooming the Broodmother without BKB, without Aegis.
They're running forward.
Or
that Sentry Ward's on
killing that guy.
On the SK. He burrow strikes on 3. The global silence is quickly up. No follow through until the cleave of BKB pop up. And the pull in the back line. Kingwin losing everything and probably even the game. With 3 heroes on the sidelines with no buybacks available. You'll at least get that now from the VS, but 5 from the swap out. The sacrifice, but again the call is on point. 4 heroes gone. A dieback on the VS, and that is GG. Vega with a 5th pick Brood. It caused a couple of problems, but really, their whole lineup just hit that spot.
Yeah, they had no way to catch the Brood. I think Slayer was actually the MVP for me this game. He like actually prevented one of the 2 crucial ganks on the Broodmother. One of them they just screwed up, and then one of them he was actually there to stun them so that G could just run away, and then that really just paved his way for him to be unstoppable. So, I mean, Broodmother didn't destroy them in the lane, but took down all the towers and was able to farm the entire map and just get to this absolute monstrosity that